All right, good evening. Uh, oh man. So I've been living in Canada for almost 7 years, and I've never been to Montreal until about January of this year. Because for the last 6 years, I've been telling people that, I just haven't had the opportunity to go. It's kind of cold, French. But this is only sort of true. The real reason I have been avoiding Montreal is because my arch nemesis lives there, and let me tell you, no city is big enough for the both of us. Let's go back. It's October 2005. I'm 16 in Dubai, and in the last year of high school. There was a fight and a betrayal. Sides were picked, and I now had an enemy. But an enemy I was going to avoid for the rest of my life by moving away to university. Yes, sir, I was going to go to McGill. I was just going to start over. But of course, as it turns out, not only was she going to McGill, she was in the same program and the same residence. Add to that a whole bunch of people from high school that I really didn't want to see anymore, and I said, fuck it. I called McGill the day classes started and told them I was staying in Toronto and going to U of T. Later, I would rewrite my grand narrative so that it was only inevitable that I would return here to the city where I was born. Now, it's been said that living well is the best revenge. So I could not go to Montreal until my life was amazing, or at least amazing relative to hers. Mind you, I didn't really know what that threshold point would be of awesome. I thought fame, money, power, bitches. But I did know that the moment that awesomeness happened, I was heading to Montreal. I imagined I would, roll up in my awesome car, beautiful partner next to me, and drop a mic in front of her, bam, revenge, motherfucker. Really, I still think about it. It keeps me warm. We're Facebook friends, so you know where this is going. So every now and then, often, I would check and see how she was doing, to check if she was all right, doing better than me. She looked pretty happy. On balance, I decided that we were doing as well as each other because, and this is terrible to admit, though I was probably unhappier, I was thinner. But as the years went by, I stopped checking as often. But yeah, when awesomeness hit, Montreal, here I come. Then one day this summer, I hadn't checked in months. So I decided, what the heck, I'll look. Only to discover, to my horror, you guys, she had moved to Toronto. Not only had she moved to Toronto, but the west end of Toronto, where I lived. My plans were fucked. She had come to me, and my life was still not awesome enough. But more than that, she was in my city, going to all my spots. She had found Baker Bots, and their delicious ice cream sandwiches. I gave them up, a necessary sacrifice to stay pure to this cause. But then she found Drift and their brunch poutine, and even here, the Colonel and your mojitos. Nowhere felt safe. Sorry, I just realized how ridiculous I sound. Oh my God. Okay, sorry, let me just, Nowhere was safe. My own city had turned against me. Toronto was supposed to keep me safe until I was ready to be more awesome than her. Toronto, how you betrayed me. So the past few months, I've been living in fear of bumping into her. I've been tiptoeing around my own city, constantly looking over my shoulder for a girl slightly shorter, but far more fashionable than I. And the thing is, she looks really happy. And, if living well is the best revenge, then she's had hers. From what I can tell, she's got a good job, a great apartment, and a fantastic long-term boyfriend. I, on the other hand, am gainfully employed-ish, have had to endure suburban exile, and I remain, not woefully, but definitely single. And to be fair, there's a part of me, no, actually all of me, actually hopes that she really is that happy. Because I was 16 when we had that fight, and 16-year-old me was legit dumb. Like, but 16-year-old me was also very, very wrong. She's always been a hard worker and a nice person. I've known her since the 8th grade, and I'd actually long considered her, a friend, a role model, and a sister before we became enemies. So, really, old friend, if you're here at the Colonel, I don't know if you are. I can't actually see very many of you. I'm sorry. The fight happened because she called me out on a truth that would ruin my best friendship with another girl. And so I took the coward's route and painted her a villain. So I'm sorry about that. And really, it's a measure of your integrity more than mine that it has taken me 5 years to come to that same truth. So maybe, you'll see this on the internet, or I'll call you. But I really hope that now as adults, we can start over. And so instead of an olive branch, I want to extend something far more dear to me. If you've lived in the West End, you probably know this by now, but there is an excellent churro bakery at Dufferin Station. So I will buy you a churro, or maybe a Baker Botts ice cream sandwich, or maybe even brunch at Drift, or a drink here at the Colonel. Thanks for listening.